King Charles meets rising Labour contender Starmer's position quietly questioned. Okay, this is not the headline you thought you'd see today. While most of the media is busy tracking polls, scandals, and back-and-forth jabs in Parliament, something very different and far more symbolic just happened. It wasn't loud. It wasn't planned for cameras. But it was noticed. King Charles held a private meeting last week, and the guest wasn't Keir Starmer. It was a man insiders are now quietly calling the alternative, a figure from within the Labour ranks who's gaining attention, gaining allies, and gaining quiet traction as dissatisfaction with Starmer grows louder. And while no official announcement was made because, let's be clear, the monarchy does not interfere in politics, the symbolism of that meeting has sent shockwaves through Westminster. So, who is this man? And why are people saying this is the beginning of the end for Starmer's grip on Labour? Let's unpack it. The man in question is Jonathan Ashworth, a long-time Labour MP, known for his steady hand, sharp communication style, and, more recently, for his subtle critiques of Starmer's policy U-turns. According to multiple senior sources and reported quietly by a few politically connected journalists, Ashworth was invited to a royal function, not as an MP, but as a distinguished statesman. Now, that might sound ceremonial, but people who follow the royal household closely know those kinds of invitations aren't random. They signal relevance, influence, future, and coming at a time when Starmer's Labour Party is looking more divided than ever. The timing speaks volumes. Just 2 weeks ago, 3 prominent Labour MPs, all considered close to grassroots movements within the party, openly challenged Starmer's leadership style in a joint op-ed. They didn't call for his resignation, not yet, but they did call for a reorientation of vision and greater internal democracy. One line in particular hit hard. The Labour leader must represent more than polling averages and safe answers. That sentiment is now echoing through local branches, union halls, and, yes, even in Parliament corridors. And in the middle of that noise, Ashworth has kept his head down but made all the right moves. Here's where it gets even more interesting. During Prime Minister's questions, while Starmer gave carefully rehearsed responses, Ashworth, seated a few benches down, was caught on camera shaking his head at least twice. It didn't make front-page news, but social media picked it up fast. One viral tweet read, "You can feel the tension. Starmer talks, Ashworth reacts. This party's splitting from the inside." Another comment, shared by a Labour staffer anonymously, added, "We've gone from unity to Cold War and no one's calling it yet." So why now? Why would Starmer, who not long ago was seen as Labour's only hope against the Tories, suddenly face internal friction and outside murmurs? Well, part of it is public fatigue. Many voters feel Labour isn't offering much, just opposing. Their economic plans are cautious. Their immigration strategy changes monthly. Their stance on key working-class issues? Blurry at best. And when voters feel uncertainty, parties start looking for fresh faces. Ashworth isn't flashy, but he's consistent. And more importantly, he knows how to talk to the core of Labour's base, without alienating the centre. Now, let's talk about what King Charles actually did. As per tradition, the monarch invites various senior figures to private dinners and briefings, not to shape policy, but to stay informed. But the choice of who gets invited? Always strategic. Inviting Ashworth signals something. Not royal approval, but royal recognition. And in UK politics, perception often moves faster than reality. Already, political insiders are talking. One anonymous senior Labour official told The Times, "If Keir stumbles during the next major debate, especially on immigration or housing, expect whispers to turn into meetings, and meetings into moves." So far, Starmer has not commented on Ashworth's growing presence. In fact, when asked directly whether he still had full confidence in his front-bench team, he answered simply, "We're focused on the country's priorities." That didn't answer the question. And now people are asking, is Labour on the edge of an internal shake-up? Will Starmer face pressure from the very MPs who once supported him? Or worse, will voters start seeing him as the placeholder, not the leader? The Conservative Party may be fracturing, but Labour's unity? It's looking thinner by the day. And the fact that someone like Ashworth is not only rising but now meeting with the King has thrown fuel on the fire. Is this the beginning of a transition? Will Ashworth step forward publicly? Or will this all simmer beneath the surface until the next general election forces it to boil? One thing's clear. The political winds in the UK are shifting, and quietly, carefully, the palace just acknowledged it. And if Starmer doesn't act fast, decisively, and boldly, he might not be the one leading Labour when the next chapter is written. Stay tuned.